Hello everybody, and welcome to something new on this channel. Welcome to Power64 Reviews. You know that old saying, new year, new me? Well, this is the new me. I'm not saying Let's Plays are coming to an end. No, we're still going to be doing Let's Plays. But this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Game reviews, as I like to talk about games quite a bit. And I can't think of a game that we should start this whole new series with one of my most childhood games of all time. That is Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. I got this signed by Charles Martinet, that's why there's little markings around it. Same with this one. Gotta like the guy. He was a cool guy. Anyways, enough about me and Charles. Let's get into this review.
Super Mario 64 released as a launch title with the Nintendo 64 back in 1996. In the mid to late 90s, a lot of video game characters were making their jump to the 3D world, and Mario's first ever 3D game was Super Mario 64. Open world, new controls, a 3D adventure that would set the standards for later 3D Mario games.
Now, Super Mario 64 left quite an impression when it came to the video game industries, especially with 3D games, seeing as, well, this was Mario's first 3D adventure, and it left a standard of how later 3D Mario games should be, let alone later 3D games such as, say, Ukulele, Banjo-Kazooie, A Hat in Time, all that stuff. They followed the same formula as Super Mario 64 did. Hell, there's a reason why Super Mario 64 has been re-released so many times on the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch. It just keeps coming out of nowhere. It even got a remake on the Nintendo DS. How good is this game that keeps coming out? How much of an impression did this game leave on the world? Well, for the sake of the video and myself, let's start with the story.
On a sunny day in the Mushroom Kingdom, Princess Peach invites Mario to come to the castle for some cake. Mario arrives and enters the castle to find out that no one is around. Toad tells Mario that everyone, including Princess Peach, are trapped within the castle walls, and Bowser has turned the many paintings in the castle into his worlds, and has stolen the Power Stars, the source of the castle's power, and placed them in the world by his troops. It's up to Mario to enter the many worlds to collect the Power Stars and rescue the princess from Bowser. Mario enters the many worlds in the castle, from a battlefield, a haunted mansion, an island that shrinks and grows, to a giant clock world. After battling Bowser a few times, he meets Bowser at the top of the castle for the final showdown. After a few hits here and there, Bowser gives up the final Power Star, and everyone is released from the castle walls, and everyone enjoys some cake.
Well, were you expecting a big story or something? Come on, this is a Mario game, not a Final Fantasy game. What were you expecting?
Well, story done, let's look into the gameplay itself. Super Mario 64 is a 3D platformer where the objective of the game is to enter the many worlds in the castle and collect the Power Stars to help you proceed throughout Peach's castle. In the castle are these paintings, which lets you enter the many worlds in the game. When you enter a painting, you are welcome to a level selection that you pick a star you want to grab. And while they do go in a certain order of Power Star, nothing's stopping you from grabbing any Power Star you want, in any order. Well, minor exceptions, of course. Take Bomb Battlefield. You can fight King Bomb, or you can get the star behind Chain Chomp's gate instead. Why go down a sled race when you can do some fancy wall jumps here and there and get a star? Nothing's stopping you from getting the star you want, unless a certain mission needs a certain thing to appear in the area. So enter these worlds and go crazy. Now, seeing as Mario is now in a 3D game, his moves have changed quite a bit. He can still move and jump and crouch like the last 2D games, but now he can do a double jump, triple jump, run without the need of a run button, wall jump, long jump, backflip, do a strong ground pound attack, and he can punch, dive, and do this silly brink dance move as an attack. Huh, interesting.
You know, Mario, those are some cool moves you got there, but I don't think that works for this sort of game. Let's put it into a game where it really should work. And this is where this game came from.
With all these new moves, Mario's gonna have to master them to get through all these worlds and collect the Power Stars from the worlds. The worlds in this game are huge, and it's not as big as, say, Super Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, but they're big enough for you to have a fun time exploring. There are a total of 15 worlds to go through, and each one feel different and never the same. Sure, there may be 2 snow worlds, but they change them enough to make them feel different from each other, and sometimes the levels change depending on the star you're getting. The graphics, while dated, the game still looks good for this time. Though, the only thing I have to say doesn't look good are some of the enemies. I mean, look at this spider thing. And Bowser, oh man, you've seen better days, my friend. And wait, what is that?
What is that thing? Stay away. Stay away from me.
Man, talk about the thing of nightmares are made out of. I mean, look at that thing. And the eel, oh man, no wonder why I wouldn't want to get the star when I was a kid. Each world has a total of 7 stars for you to collect. 6 are for missions, which can be easy to find at times. Some are as easy as collect 8 red coins or open up a question block, while some can be really hard to find, and the hint at the start of the level sometimes doesn't help. Blast at the wall? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, that's what it means. There are also a hidden star for collecting 100 coins from the world, and these can be very annoying to get. You need to get 100 coins in one go. No dying. See this? Mario's now rocking a health meter. When he gets hurt, he loses some health. Fall from a large height, he loses some health. Go underwater, he loses air. And the last thing you want is to die right before you get 100 coins. Get kicked out of the world and try again. Sometimes when you enter an area in the world and you jump back into the world, you can't leave that special area. Why is that? Thing is, some of the worlds give you more than enough coins to get all 100. Problem is, sometimes they don't. See these? These are blue coins. They give you a total of 5 coins, and red ones give you a total of 2. But some of these worlds barely give you enough. Look at Jolly Rogers Bay. I can only find 103 coins in this world. Why? Why is there not enough? In other worlds, you can get 150. What gives? You might have noticed these color boxes throughout the world. Yellow boxes tend to have coins or 1-ups or even stars in them at times, while the red, blue, and green boxes give you special caps. Thing is, you can't use them right away. You need to find the switch palaces in order to activate them. Once you hit the switch, the caps become available to you. These count as power-ups in the game. Hitting the red box gives you the wing cap, which lets Mario fly. Hitting the blue box gives you the invincibility cap, which lets Mario transparent and go through walls and enemies. Hitting the green box gives you the metal cap, turning Mario into Metal Mario, which he can walk through water and don't get hurt by enemies. I mean, Metal Mario became very popular to a point where he became a boss in Smash Bros. And even a character in Mario Kart. Though if I'm going to be honest, I feel like these caps aren't used as much. Well, the metal cap and invincibility cap anyways. You use these 2 caps to collect a total of 8 stars in the game. Why is that? Also, I noticed that the classic power-ups aren't in this game. No mushrooms, starmans, or even fire flowers. What's up with that? I think the reason why is because they wanted you to use the caps more, but they don't work well as power-ups. One thing I like about power-ups back in the classic games, they were upgrades, and you could use them to use special abilities. While in this game, you don't use them as much, so they kind of lack on that sort of power-up feeling. So they work, but not well enough. So with 7 stars per world and 15 worlds, that makes it a total of 105 stars out of 120 stars in the game. So where are the other 15 stars? Well, that's where Peach's Castle comes into play, the hub world of this game, with many floors and different rooms to enter. There are enough things for you to do in this castle to keep you busy, whether it be talking to Toad, chasing a rabbit, reading some signposts, or even finding a bonus room to give you an extra star. You might have noticed these big doors with a lock and a big door with a big star on them. Well, the big star door leads you to a Bowser level, where you must get past a level and battle Bowser in the end. Once you beat Bowser, you get a key to open one of the big key doors in the castle to keep going. Overall, Peach's Castle is an alright hub world. Not too big, and everything's so close together you can't get lost. I know a lot of people don't like hub worlds in 3D games, mostly in 3D Sonic games, but Peach's Castle works well for me. And let's listen to that soundtrack. It is catchy as ever. The songs Bomb on Battlefield, Bowser's Road, and the ending theme come to mind. Also, most importantly, Dire Dire Docks. That song is just so good. Sure, this isn't the soundtrack that I mostly go to when it comes to a Mario game. I mostly listen to the Galaxy music, the Thousand Year Door music, and all the other ones. But I still like the soundtrack. Give it a listen if you get a chance. If you manage to get all 120 stars, you are rewarded with a surprise from Yoshi at the top of Peach's Castle. Yoshi will give you 100 lives and even a special triple jump. Though if you ask me, it would be cool if you could have this when you start a new save file, seeing as the game is already done, but hey, it is what it is. At least it's better than the next game we're going to look into. Thanks, Yoshi. I'll see you around. So overall, what do I think of Super Mario 64? Is it worth giving it a try? In the end, I say it is. The game's a lot of fun, and you only need to get 70 stars to beat the game. There's enough replay for this game for you to change your route to beat the game the next time, seeing as, well, again, you can grab any star in any order you want. The only complaints I have with this game are the 100 coin stars and the lack of good power-ups. Well, mostly the invincibility and the metal cap. The wing cap's okay, but the other two, again, 8 stars out of 120, I don't know. The only other problem I have with this game is the camera. I know I didn't really mention this back in the control section of the review. Well, the thing is, the camera kind of doesn't want to work sometimes. Sometimes it can get stuck in weird places, sometimes it doesn't want to turn, and then you go to Bowser levels where you're allowed to rotate it a complete 180. Why is that? I don't get it. Overall, the game's fun. If you have a chance, you can get the game for the Nintendo 64 online, or if you have the 3D Mario All-Star Pack, you also can get that too, but that is if you can get your game. Thing is, the game's great, I recommend it. If you enjoyed Super Mario Odyssey, you're going to have fun with this one as well.
Though, if you're able to get your hands on the Super Mario 3D All-Stars version, that's one I can also recommend. You can also download it on the Switch on the Nintendo 64 online thing if you're able to get that. Though, if you enjoy this game, if you played it and you want more, like there wasn't enough in this game, you're in luck, as they have released a remake of this game on the Nintendo DS, Super Mario 64 DS. This one, I think is a little better in my opinion, to a degree. This one ended up being on the Nintendo DS, and it had a 3D adventure with a D-pad. I'm not going to go into this game, as this one has a lot more into it. You got more characters, you got more stuff for you to collect. There's a lot for you to do in this one. But I'm going to hold it off for another time. We won't look into this one just yet. Maybe there's a reason why Super Mario 64 has been re-released so many times. It let the foundation of what a 3D Mario game should be, and pretty much every other 3D Mario game kind of followed that formula. There must be a reason why this game was re-released so many times, but I'm getting ahead of myself. While back in 1996, we wanted more. We wanted more Mario games, and while we did have a few games to kind of fill it in, we were waiting for the next 3D Mario game. And we got it. That was on the Nintendo GameCube with Super Mario Sunshine. This will be the one we're going to be looking at next. So, that being said, this has been Power64 Reviews. Thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.